How's it going, guys? This is Avollon, and welcome back to episode number 5 of Avollon's World. Today, like I hinted at the end of the last episode, we are going to be doing some various redstone related projects. In reality, they're not too redstone intensive, but we're going to make them redstone intensive. So, this is new. I dug a hole. Yeah, welcome to the game. It's Minecraft. It's not like it has mining in the name. So, this is going to be our storage room. And the two farms that I am going to build today, I'm going to build two separate farms, and they're going to kind of link together, how I'm going to do them. On the left here is going to be the storage for the Kelp Farm, so we're going to have, I think, 30 double chests for that. And then on the right here is going to be storage for a Cactus Farm, and we're going to have 15 double chests for that. And then in the back here, we are going to make a furnace array. So that way I can take the kelp, smelt it, get dried kelp, and then take the dried kelp and smelt down the cactus to get the green dye, all in one place. Nice and easy. So, what I'm going to end up doing is building the cactus farm there, and the kelp farm, I'm going to be using Kelp Fans. 135's new kelp farm tutorial has it hooked up to a smelter and everything. I'm probably going to end up doing that. Because, let's face it, we don't really need the kelp, we need the dried kelp. So, I'm going to probably just hook it up to a smelter down where it is, and then have everything feed into these chests. That way we can craft the dried kelp blocks and put them right into this furnace array to smelt the green dye. I put them next to each other deliberately because I want to be able to come over here, flip a switch, lock one hopper. It's got to be one hopper because I don't have a lot of iron. I can't do a whole bunch of fancy stuff. But I want to flip a switch so that all the cactus, instead of flowing into its storage unit, flows right into this back furnace array. So say if I need a project that requires a lot of green dye, I can come over here, flip the switch, and then all the cactus will smelt up automatically while it's harvesting itself. Which I don't actually know how to describe how cactus harvests itself, if that's even the right word to use. But I got two farms to build, another hole to dig for the kelp farm, so I'm going to get busy with those, and I will be back once I got a little bit more progress. I think I'm going to try doing the kelp farm first, because honestly we need the fuel before we have the stuff to smelt. So I'm going to get busy on that, and I will be back with you guys once I got some progress to show you. Alright, well, I made some progress. This is progress. So, before it was just a barren floor, now it's an even more barren floor. I wanted to get this floor in place because I'll show you in a second. I figured out where I'm putting the kelp farm. But I built this floor, kind of wanted to give it like a run-down feeling, and I needed to include lights, so I went with my old classic redstone lamp and stairs surrounding it, because that always looks kind of nice with stone bricks and cobblestone. But then I was like, you know what, let's waterlog them, since that's a new feature. And it kind of adds that splash of color, and it kind of makes it look run down at the same time. So I really like how it turned out. And then I added cracked stone brick, cobblestone, andesite, and gravel, along with stone brick stairs and cobblestone. Did I say? Yeah, I did say that one. And cobblestone stairs to this. So there's a whole bunch of blocks making up the floor. But I think it turned out pretty good. At least I would say. It definitely turned out the way I wanted it to. But down here's our ladder, and we're putting the kelp farm right underneath of our farm. And our farm? Yes, our farm. Our floor right above us. So, instead of building one module on top of each other, we're going to build a module there and a module here, here, and here. Now, I originally calculated it for 2 modules. One on top of each other there, and one on top of each other here. I think it was 15 by 19 by like 19 and 19 blocks. So it's like it's a little daunting to dig out by hand. I've been using my regular fortune pickaxe. I've been using the silk touch pickaxe. I've got a whole bunch of cobblestone, a whole bunch of stone. We'll get plenty more. But this is great to get a whole bunch of cobblestone, because I always seem to run out of these 2 building blocks. So, anyway, we now have to gather up some other materials. We've got the observers, we got the redstone, and we've got the pistons. we need one more thing, and that is packed ice, and ice would really help us right now. We need packed ice for the item transport streams, which are going to be right here in the middle, which I think is around this point right here. If not, somewhere in this room, there's a middle. But we're going to be using packed ice and water and half slabs in order to fully make our water streams and transport items. And we're going to be using the bubble elevators. Hence why we needed a whole bunch of soul sand. And that is how we are going to get the items coming out of this kelp farm up and the items from the cactus farm up into there. So, I gotta go reconfigure the nether, make a way into the roof, and make a tunnel to a packed ice biome, ice spikes, and gather me up some packed ice and some ice. So I will be back once I made that trip and that journey to a very, very cold place. Went from warm to cold in a matter of an episode.
Alright, well, I've done some work, done some things, and we have ourselves a working kelp farm. At least half of my initial design. So, I had originally planned to stack 2 layers on top of each other. I forget if I mentioned that already or not. But I figured out that would take a heck of a lot more mining than it would just putting 2 modules right next to each other. So that's what we did here. And I have a incomplete one and a complete one over here. This is fully operational, fully up and running. As you can see, the kelp is growing, and now we can't see. Okay. If we come down here, we should be able to see in this nice... Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Here comes the kelp. And you see that one's just slowly going to rise up eventually and make its way up and over. And there it is. There we go. So it is a completely lossless design, and we already got a little bit of kelp from it. So, it's actually not too complicated to make, as all you gotta do is put a block, a piston, an observer, and then put redstone behind the observer. And then you have a instant one-pulse design, because I originally thought of using my go-to sugarcane design, which uses the same observer and piston technology here. But it would only activate 1 piston, because that's what the sugarcane is. It grows and it breaks that one thing of sugarcane. Well, that's kind of not useful with kelp, because kelp can grow up and then be that age 25 or 24, and then it won't grow anymore, so it'll get stuck at this piston height, which means eventually, more than likely, the kelp farm would all get stuck at the piston level here. What Cubfan did, I don't know if he's the one that came up with it, but instead of just putting a block and then the redstone behind the pistons, he puts the redstone right behind the observers. And we have 15 in a row, because that's how long redstone can travel with in 1 signal strength. So when one of them gets activated, all the pistons get activated. So it makes it so every piece of kelp gets basically destroyed. I don't know why I'm having problems talking now, but every piece of kelp will get destroyed, and then it'll start back again, brand new. So we never have the problem of the kelp reaching the 25 not growing thing. So this will continuously keep going and going and going, because eventually one will reach the observer, and they all will break, and then we'll all be good. So now that that's way out of... I've done talking for now. We have a second module or 3rd and 4th modules. That's more like it, because we already built 2 modules to build up. Ain't too complicated, and I was thinking, let's do another first-person time-lapse, I found some music I can use for my videos, so let's do it. Why not? I think it'd be interesting to see this being built up and how much I fail at building one of these things. Because, yeah, that took a while for me to get the water right. But I think I have it down right now. So we're going to do another first-person time-lapse of me building this. So, without further ado, let's get on with that first-person time-lapse. busy, and I've finished up the entire smeltery process system thing, whatever you want to call it, and have it hooked up. We now have dried kelp flowing into these chests, into that chest, and sometimes into these chests. It's just that fast. So, I'll give you guys a little rundown here. It's quite messy, forgive my redstone, I just wanted it to work. Up here we've got the transport system, so once the items are smelted, as you can see here, they go right up the bubble column and boom, right into the chest. That's the end of the process. This is the beginning of the process. Here is with the furnace array, and here you can see there is a minecart with hopper which will collect all of the kelp. It's just that fast. So I'll give you guys a little rundown here. It's quite messy, forgive my redstone, I just wanted it to work. Up here we've got the transport system, so once the items are smelted, as you can see here, they go right up the bubble column. Of 64 is equally distributed in 16 furnaces, so you don't have any waste of dried kelp blocks. I think that's why there's 16 furnaces, but I could be mistaken. We'll see what really goes on, but we've got some dried kelp in there, and as you can hear, there's a annoying dropper in the background clicking out items right there, which then go into a bubble column, which is back behind here, which then leads it all the way up there. Then there is a minecart with chests that comes along this route here, along this powered rail, all the way up to here, which goes right off into the back of our little storage room area here, which we can then go ahead and dump some dried kelp into. Now, I also added this nifty little light over here. When there isn't a lot of fuel left in the smelter, this light will be on, so I know, and I can come over here and put in some dried kelp. How I did that was simply run a really long redstone line from a comparator signal out of this first hopper here. So essentially when there's, well, it took the item because there's nothing in there, but when this has one item in it, at least this line will turn on, and then, you know, oh, okay, we've got fuel, but since this has no items in it, that means the furnace isn't getting any more dried kelp blocks. It's running down to its last stack. That means we have to stock it up, so we just craft up some dried kelp and throw it into the system. So overall, it's the kelp farm of this portion of this storage room of this thing that I really can't speak today. I'm sorry, guys. The kelp farm is done. The storage room for it is done. And as you can see, we've already got a absolute ridiculous amount of dried kelp. It's not that much, but in that short amount of time, it's been up for like 5 minutes, we've gotten that much yet, and we should be getting another batch, I think. Should get 5 stacks, if I'm not mistaken. I think we should. Well, there's 2. It's not making its way. I'll have to keep an eye on that, but we should get 5 stacks in there. But I think that's how much we should get. Honestly, I don't know why there's not 5 stacks. It should be faster than this. Okay, I'll have to look into that, unless if I pick some up along the way, or I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to start work on the cactus farm. You know, it's a simple, plain old cactus farm, nothing interesting about it. But we're going to hook it up with one of these smelter program. I really can't speak. One of these smelters, and then hook up the light, and then we get to decorate this room, so yay! Then we can call this episode done and dusted. Until then, we got a cactus farm to build, so let's get to it. I'm back. I've been doing some work, got a glimpse of what I've been doing, but here is the cactus farm, or should I say cactus tower. It is gigantic. 64 different cacti, cactuses, or whatever you want to call them, all in one giant tower, all automatically harvested. It is looking kind of flat. I gotta decorate it still. I'm going to do that soon. But I finished the interior here, and I think it turned out pretty good. Got a nice ceiling in here, and yeah, finished basically filled in the little borders here and made it look a little nice, even though it looks really run down and destroyed with cobblestone, cracked stone brick, and the site. There's gravel, there's water in the floor. So over here we got the 2 indicator lights, those are hooked up, and I did hook up the smelting system for the cactus. I have a little makeshift entryway right here,
So here you can see all the different furnaces, and there's the bubble column, and here is the minecart with a good amount of cactus in here. Keep in mind this hasn't been loaded for too long, and that's a pretty decent amount of cactuses in the minecart there. But I really like how the ceiling turned out. I think it's amazing. Back here we got the fuel input. Yep, that's the word for it. And we've slowly and surely been getting some dried kelp. Eventually it should produce enough that these can supply themselves. That's my goal. We can always add more kelp farms if we need to. But yeah, back behind here, got some hidden crafting tables, and I got a door here because I was like, oh yeah, I can put the trapdoors there, and you know, one here and open them different directions and go right through. Didn't work. Too tall. Dang it. This is the downside of being tall. Just kidding, I don't have any say in it. So I put a door, you know, it kind of sticks out. I don't know why the dark oak trapdoor is like a different shade than the dark oak door. It's kind of confusing me. And it's not my texture pack. I tried it in the regular default texture pack because I'm running, there it is, the new Minecraft textures. It's not the default ones. The default, it's the exact same thing. So, yeah. This little rickety staircase that I had, yeah, it's definitely a staircase. Good job. This is a ladder. Has been completely torn apart and devastated. You know, this is where the fuel input line is, and over here is the fuel indicator light coming off of the back here. And actually, yeah, I do have an access point here. I didn't think I had an access point, so I can get in this. Wow, I did not plan that at all. That is nice. That is really nice. The dual access points. Okay, sure. I mean, that works. Alright. So, everything works. Everything's up and running. I mean, we probably won't start getting cactus green dye in there for a little bit yet. I do plan on going AFK overnight to see how these things run. I hope that we get a decent amount of dried kelp and some green dye. I did put, I think, 40 dried kelp blocks in there, something around there. But last thing we gotta do for this episode before we call it quits is make this look less boring and more interesting. So I'm gonna do that, and I will be back with you guys once I make this thing somewhat presentable. Oh, there it is. Definitely looks a heck of a lot more interesting. And honestly, I really like how it turned out. Really looks good. Definitely gets the feel that I was going for. And I don't think the flatness right here in this general vicinity where I'm pointing, if you can see, because yeah, white cursor against white glass and gray, kind of hard to see, but the flatness of the actual Cactus Farm doesn't really bother me that much. I think it looks pretty good from afar. Like, that honestly looks pretty cool. I really like how this turned out. Now, eventually, once I get a vine farm up and running and whatnot, we can throw in some mossy cobble and mossy stone bricks and add a little bit of green to it, which would give it some, you know, different color and wear and tear down on it. But we have the continued structure all the way around here, and I have glass on the back side here and over on that side too, you can see. Here's the roof design. You know, something little fancy, little simplistic. I don't know, I really like doing these fancy looking roofs with slabs and stairs, and I don't know what style it is. It's just something I kind of built one day and I was like, that's really cool, I like that. And I've been doing it ever since. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I never have a set pattern. I just kind of go with the flow and build, and just, you know, if it doesn't look good, then I tear it out and do a couple more curves and angles and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know how to describe my process with that. But it does look extremely cool, in my opinion. It's definitely, you know, big and bold, and hey, how you doing? I'm a giant cactus tower, you know. But I mean, just walking down here, it's like, and I've been, wow, that thing's really big. I don't realize like how big this thing. I'm a little bit hungry. Sorry, guys. But I don't realize how big this thing actually is. Like, that's 4 layers of a cactus farm, and it just looks like a massive building from down here. And then we've got the nice interior here. We still don't have any cactus, but we do have a little bit more dried kelp. And I accidentally right-clicked on a log. Happens all the time. So, that's going to end this episode. We got a cactus, we got a kelp, we've got them fully automated to smelt down. Kind of, I mean, it still requires us to put fuel in the section, you know. Yeah. But, you know, it's fully automatic. Yeah, we'll go with that. And we built up a nice structure around this cactus farm. Oh, whoa, that was freaky. Whoa, okay. Well, that's different. And we built up a nice storage room. So, next episode is going to be a little bit more, you know, swimming involved. There's going to be a little bit of swimming involved next episode. Just a little bit. And it is going to involve my trident. That is the plan for next episode, so it shouldn't be too long after this one that the next episode gets uploaded. But what I do next episode is going to further us for plans I have for future episodes. Because I'm kind of relying on one thing. Yeah. And then we can get started. We've got the cactus farm. I'll give you guys a hint there. That is for the green dye. I need that for something. What I need the other stuff for, well, you'll have to come back next episode and find out. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how I did on these buildings, because honestly they look good to me, but they could look like total trash to you. Yeah, I don't call myself a builder or a redstone expert, but I know how to do a little bit of stuff. I mean that doesn't look so bad, right? So anyway, I will catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.